Cav Cop here. In this video, I'm going to go over a little survival pouch that I keep in my vehicles. We'll go inside, look at some of the stuff in here. Like I said, it's just what I carry. You may want to tailor yours to your own needs and everything. A lot of people go by the 5Cs or the 10Cs, and we can get into that inside a little bit, but this is just a rough idea, something to build upon. In future videos, I'll get more into the 5Cs and 10Cs and some of the actual bags and kits that I have to go around with and everything. For now, we'll go inside and take a look at this. Alright, so these are some, like I said, survival pouches that I use in my vehicle just to have handy and everything. Both of them are set up the same, and we'll go over some of the stuff that's in these. I'll use this one here, I guess, for the example and everything. Talked about the 5Cs that deal with survival, and basically it's cutting instrument, having some kind of cordage, some type of combustion device, type of cover, and a container. I don't have a container probably in here, but with some of my other stuff and everything, it'll make up for it. One of the things that I have in here, cheap little product I bought off of Amazon. Comes with a little compass in here. Not the greatest thing in the world, but you can use it if you have to. This right here will screw off. Has a glass breaker. It'll take you a long time to screw it off if you ever need to break some glass with it or something like that, but it is there. Also, if you unscrew this right here, you get yourself a nice little blade. It's got a little serrated edge. I sharpen this a little more. And then it also has like a little hook here so you can cut string, stuff like that, rope. And on the end here, it comes with a ferro rod built into it. Ferro rod, you can scrape and get sparks. You can use a little blade that's in here as well. And it also has a whistle if you need like a signaling device or something like that. But this little kit right here comes with, or this little device, comes with some neat stuff in it. And like I said, it's small, compact, but it gives you enough in an emergency. You could use that. Have a little lanyard loop thing here if you need to tie something off, or quick disconnect type thing. You can set it up, strap something if you need to carry something with it. So right here's a headlight. This one right here is made by Energizer, but it allows you to tilt and stuff like that. A lot of times if you're doing stuff at night or something like that, it's good to have a headlamp, because a headlamp kind of looks where you look and it frees your hands up, so you can do different things, whether it's working on an engine, trying to fix something, or even if you're trying to work on someone with an injury or something like that in a ditch. This will be able to light up your way and everything, and has different settings on it, but it's pretty bright, does its job, and like I said, it's adaptable, gives you free hands to use. A little Altoids tin, which if you're into any kind of prepping and doing stuff, the Altoids tin is a great way to store stuff and everything in it. In here I have a little bit of tape, like Gorilla Tape, and if you don't know, Gorilla Tape's real good for patching stuff if you need it. You can use it if you need to start a fire as a kindling type thing for burning it like tinder. Have some iodine wipes. Like I said, you got to be worried about people having iodine. Some antiseptic wipes, alcohol wipes. These are good if you need to wipe things off and disinfect it. Alcohol pads also are good for starting a fire and burning, because it gives you a little bit of flame time and everything. This right here is some jute twine. I'll probably do videos on this later, but this is good if you need to strap some small stuff down and everything. Also, you can unwind it, feather it up, and make what they call like a little bird's nest, and it'll light up and ignite easy for fires and stuff like that, so you can tie it off. A little bit of dryer lint. For those who don't know, dryer lint's also pretty combustible. If you need to start a fire or something, it's a good thing to have. These right here are 3 tinder pieces. They've got a little bit of like a chemical treatment to help them burn, and you can kind of tear them up, fluff them up a bit, hit them with a spark from a ferro rod, and they'll give you a bit of burn time to do stuff. This right here is a little razor blade knife. Gives you a little bit of a cutting tool underneath the tape here. I don't know if you can see that well, but I also have some razor blades that are taped on the inside of there as well, so if one of these happens to break or something like that, I can replace it. Tip breaks off, you can actually pull it out, flip it over, so you get 2 edges to cut off it. It's pretty sharp if you need to use it. It locks, but it's not probably the strongest locking device. You're not going to want to do a lot of stuff with it, but the good thing is if you're pushing down on it, you're fine. Just if you're trying to pull out of something, hopefully it'll hold, but it does lock in place pretty decent. Has a little pocket clip if you need to clip it to something. So right here is just a little bit of a candle wick thing that I have, or some wax wicks from another project that I did. This right here is a little basic pin punch thing. For those who don't know, if you get like a soda can or something like that, you can make like a little hobo stove. If you have some alcohol or something, need to disconnect the fuel filter, something like that, you can get yourself some fuel. You can poke things. If you got something stuck somewhere, you can use this to get it out. This right here is a sewing needle. It's pretty good if you have small strips of twine or something like that, whether it's the cord or whether it's bank line or something like that. You can put it in and stitch stuff up, whether it's clothes or something like that. And then this right here is not the P38, P51, I think, can opener. It's a little bit bigger version of it. People use these in the military all the time. Clean fingernails. You can use it as a screwdriver. You can use it to spark ferro rods and stuff. But it's a handy little thing to have, and different uses, but it's small, it's flat, and it's light. Let's see what else we got in here. So right here's a bandana. It's a little bit of a bigger one, but like I said, bandanas serve a lot of purposes. You can do like a triangle type sling thing if you have a arm or something that's busted. You can use this to filter water to pour through, kind of like a pre-filter type thing. You can wrap it up and use it as a bandage or aid dressing in emergency. And if you do it about 2 fingers width wide as you fold it over, you can also modify it and use this right here as a tourniquet and everything. This right here is a 20 round magazine, one of the old Colt Vietnam ones. Ended up taking it and wrapped it with bank line. For those who don't know, there's a whole bunch of bank line in here, and then I took an extra bottom piece. These are a little bit different in how they clip in, and I ended up grinding it off a little bit and made like a little first aid thing in here. And there's all kinds of little bandages if you need it, suture strips if you end up cutting yourself, have an injury, kind of like a temporary stitch type thing, and some more little bandages and everything. Then, like I said, this cordage right here can come off. This right here is braided bank line, basically a tarred line, kind of meant for people around the water and stuff like that, but it's real good in survival situation stuff. It's lighter, smaller than 550 cord. Works good with 550 cord. 550 cord stretches and kind of nylon. This right here is braided a lot better. They also have one that's twined. The one that's threaded or twined together is actually a little better. The braided is kind of a one use. You can't separate it and do multiple things with it, but it's one of the things that I made. Then I have regular Gerber multi-tool. Get your blades, your files, needle nose pliers, wire cutters, can openers, all kinds of stuff in there. So right here's a little plastic tin. Tobacco and stuff sometimes comes in it, like snus. You have a small lid here you can store stuff in. Sometimes I keep extra pads in there. And then these right here are wax makeup rounds that I dipped in wax. Well, what I first did is I put Vaseline in the center and then dipped them in wax. And so the cotton makeup rounds have Vaseline on them and wax. And so if you need to pop them out, there's 4 or 5 in here. You can break them in half and they'll light fires. I'll show some more on that in some other videos. Nice thing is it's waterproof and it does give a decent burn time and everything. And then on the bottom here, have a space blanket. This one right here is one of the gold ones like the astronauts used, but you can get them in silver and different stuff. From personal experience, these are good for covering things, good for shelter, rain, stuff like that. If you're truly cold, these are not going to keep you that warm. If you're running around doing a bunch of activity, we were hiking in some mountains one time in the military, and we're told to carry a bunch of these in our butt pack so that when we made our rest after walking 12 plus miles with all our gear, we could bed down for the night and use this instead of bringing our poncho liners or sleeping bags. We froze our butts off up in that mountain, but like I said, you can cover it up if someone is cold or having some kind of thing from being outdoors. You can wrap them with this and take care of it. If you find someone that has no clothes on, running around naked, you can cover them up with it. If you need to tie it off and make a little makeshift tent or something like that out of it, you can, to stay out of pouring rain or something like that. But it has limited purposes. It's not a magic thing that you're going to put on and keep you warm and everything. Like I said, this is basically what I keep inside of them. The other kits set up, like I said earlier, same way. The only difference I think in this one is, this one here I have a kind of a blunt nose Gerber. It has wire cutters, but they're not replaceable, and it's not really a needle nose plier and everything. And then the magazine on this one, I didn't paint OD green like I painted that one. But I hope this gives you a little bit of an idea, just some stuff to have in case of an emergency. If people aren't familiar with how some of this stuff works, I might get into that in some other vehicle or other videos I do. But for my vehicles, this is just stuff that I feel is handy, and if I get into an emergency or some kind of situation thing, whether it's out in some back roads or somewhere else and something happens, this along with the other kits that I have, along with blankets, tarps, and normally I'll have a carry bag, whether it's a work bag or a go bag type thing. I'll carry that in my vehicle as well, which has usually my container and other stuff in there. But the one thing I really don't have in here is a container part. Like I said, in my vehicle, when I showed you, I got ponchos and other stuff stashed away. I got wool blankets that can be used when it's wet out and stuff like that. So having some kind of cover or something like that isn't a huge issue. But I hope you enjoy this video. Give you some ideas, get you to thinking about little things you may want to add to your vehicles and stuff like that. Cav Cop out.